What is up, guys? It's KOJOFOREX. In my last previous video, I talked to you guys about how to master market timing, and because of that, it is Tuesday, currently 4 o'clock, and I'm still awake, right? 4 o'clock a.m. In fact, I've actually been awake since 1 a.m. and I've been watching the market and then took a few trades. But it's all geared towards the reason that if I do not really wake up to watch the market around this time and then time my positions, I'm actually going to miss those moves. So you see some of the sacrifices that as traders you generally have to, like, inculcate in your livelihood to be able to make successful trades, right? Look, it's actually 1 a.m. and then I was awake, right? Sat here through 1 a.m. all through to 2 when we finally had like that candlestick confirmations, and then I took those trades, sent it out to the community and then the free community as well, and then everybody just making money. I was actually personally surprised to find out that a lot of people were still awake and then active on the market, right? Well, it shouldn't really surprise me as much because we have like a global community of over 31,000 perhaps, or approaching 31,000 from America, London, what's the name, Nigeria, South Africa, just globally, right? So if you want to join that membership, or if you want to be a part of the community, click in the link in the description to join the KOJOFOREX Telegram community. So what I intend to do now is just gonna give you guys a glimpse of what was going through my mind and then the psychology behind the trades that I took, so that perhaps you can learn from it. And then when there comes a time where you need to really sacrifice some time in the market, you gotta sacrifice the sleep. You cannot achieve success when you are always sleeping like the regular human sleep, right? How did a regular human sleep? They sleep at 7 p.m. or 7 or 8 p.m. and then they want to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning or 7 a.m. in the morning, dress up and go to work and come back. But as a trader, you don't literally have that lifestyle. You don't have that luxury of wanting to sleep when you want to sleep. You sleep when the market wants you to sleep, right? So in a sense, I'm a married man, right? So just imagine literally sleeping with your wife around 1 a.m. 2 a.m. then you just literally have to get up from bed, come sit by a screen while she's having that good night's sleep, and then you have to now be stressed, racking your brains. And that's just like the life of a trader. So if you're here and then you're passionate about the life of a trader, you might want to even guess how the life of a trader, in fact like the life of a married trader is, right? Then I can be like that exemplary life you can look at, right? So you just have to sacrifice a lot of things when you want to achieve that success as a trader, right? So without wasting my time and then beating about the bush, let me just give you guys a glimpse of the whole thought process and then the trades that I took, right? So come check this one out. So you can see here that I have like a lot of trades setups that I was literally watching. Usually I don't really have a lot of setups like this in a week. So when you see like the red flags, it means that I had my eyes on them, right? I kind of usually would have like 2 or 3 in a week, or 4 maximum, or 5, let's see. But this week I have like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13, barely 14 trades, right? So what happened is that most of them, they kind of never really gave me like that kind of confirmation that I wanted, right? Most of them didn't really kind of give me that confirmation that I wanted. So because of that, or I could say that most of them really literally moved before I could even find my entry, especially with the indexes, right? But I was so geared that, well, if I miss the index, I'm not going to miss the currency pairs as well. So I was just catching these particular ones, right? Come look at this one. So when you look at most of the currency pairs from last week, we had so many of them literally being like extremely oversold and then extremely overbought, right? So literally when I talk about oversold, overbought, I'm not talking about RSI indicator, those kind of stuff, right? I'm literally talking about where we've seen overly extended moves than the regular. So if you can look at here, you can see that this move is literally overly extended than what had happened previously here, or previously here. So in this kind of situations, we kind of see that, well, then we could have a potential reversal, perhaps what we call technically a retracement in the market. That's why I have like my risk to reward to showing somewhere here, not all the way at the top, because I'm expecting that we could make some form of a retracement halfway before perhaps if the market wants to continue in the prior direction it would. So you can clearly see that with most of the ones that I marked out trades that I felt like they were overly extended, dropped too low or went up too high, right? So dropped too low or went up too high, and then subsequently with some of the patterns that I've taught you with the candlestick patterns, because remember that I taught you in the candlestick pattern video there are certain candlestick reversal formations that will start to play out when the market wants to reverse in the opposite direction, which is like I taught you the tweezer bottoms, the tweezer tops, and then the bullish engulfing and bearish engulfing. I've promised you guys I'm going to add a lot more, which indeed I am in subsequent videos that I'm going to be sharing with you. But I started seeing some of them here, right? So like here we have like Aussie dollar USD, so you can clearly see that after a couple of confirmations here, which you may not necessarily know about, we had this kind of a bullish engulfing candle here, little one here. Then it started giving us that sign that yeah, Aussie dollar USD could potentially be a move that will now reverse on the opposite direction and to the upside, right? So we kind of had a confluence of setup as well, not only about the candlestick confirmation as well, because you can clearly see that right below here we had like a previous, you know, support here, which the market has come to visit again, and then imprints this reversal pattern. So we jumped quickly on this trade, and then we're still in it, even though we booked some partial profit, and then this trade is currently running close to about 50 pips in profit, right? So yeah, we still have our stop loss just right beneath the range like that, and then the market is still trading in our favor. So that's one trade we took, right? I shared in the community as well, and a lot of people made money. So here with the general community of over 30,700, we have Aussie dollar USD trade sent out around 2:37 a.m. Can you see the time though? Can you see the time? Yeah, 2:37 a.m. and then we sent New Zealand dollar USD 240 as well. And then so that's the trade for Aussie dollar USD. Let's check out what was happening with New Zealand USD as well. So kind of the same thing, right? They all move in confluence. So anytime you see like Aussie dollar moving up, you kind of expect New Zealand dollar to also kind of move up, because they have like that kind of, you know, correlation somewhat, right? But if you look technically as well, even though they have correlation, you don't want to blindly, like, you know, take trade using just the correlation. You want to see technically does it also make sense, and then technically it kind of makes sense as well, because look at New Zealand USD as well. It also hit this previous support here, gave us the confirmation we needed. We can kind of look closely into it and see that yeah, within that range we kind of see a tweezer bottom, even though it wasn't that confirmation that we totally depended on, because like I told you, sometimes within the beginning of the week you don't really want to jump in on trade just using the first confirmation, because then you just be stuck in the trade for a long time before the real moves just begin. So yeah, we took this trade right off when we had this kind of, you know, hammer confirmations here, and then currently it also running about 30 pips, right? Made a lot of profit on it already, and still holding some few positions, expecting this market to kind of go all the way up, right? So that one also I showed you guys here, right? So you can see that like throughout my community we just shared a lot of trades, and then, you know, people started making money, including myself. I made a lot of money from it, and then I have some trades running here, and this one also floating, right? Still running, eventually leading it up to over 3,000 on a floating profit, and close some profit, right? So here you can see that yeah, we closed some few profit. I put some music there, so I may not necessarily want to play it just for YouTube sake. But yeah, let's kind of check out some of the community members and then the profits that they also made, right? So here you can see this guy say he made some crazy scalping. I said nice work done. Here we can also see this guy also made a lot of money. We have this one say join today but you are the goat. Yeah, perhaps join our community today. He's also making insane money. This one also made $1,251. That's a lot of profit for a day, right? So a lot of people actually making a lot of money around 1, 2, 3 a.m. and then that's just insane. Let's look at another position that we also took, right? Euro Aussie dollar, right? This was a trade that I also really liked. It's currently run over 100 pips, right? So that was just my entry. Just as you can see with the risk to reward too, right? I really got into this trade quite late though, and under normal circumstances you usually have me entering my trade around this range and then stop loss above the range, but with this trade I was kind of a little bit late. Nonetheless, I kind of felt that this trade had a lot more potential just for me to let it slide, so I was like, let me just find an entry. So I kind of lowered down into a lower time frame, 15 minutes perhaps, and then I found a real reason to jump in on this trade when we had like that little bit of a pullback coming into this range. Like yeah, this is just the right spot to jump into this trade. Then set a stop loss, which I use pip valuation basis. I did not really use market structure to set the stop loss. You know, sometimes you can't really find structure to set stop loss in such kind of a trade setup, because if you're using structure then you want to put your stop loss all the way here, and that way I'm going to be risking about 128 pips or 130 pips, which is not really prudent for the kind of trade setup that I was looking for. So I kind of use like, okay, perhaps let me just risk about 30 or 40 pips on this trade and let's see how far I can go, right? Just for proper risk to reward basis. So this trade also currently running, like I said, how many pips? Over 100 pips, and then we're floating nicely on this. We're also running in GBP USD trade setup as well. But so yeah, this is the trade for Euro Aussie dollar trade setup that I was just talking about. Still have some positions on there running for Euro Aussie dollar, right? And then that was this for the Aussie dollar USD to get trade all the way down there, and then we have that for the NZD USD as well, also running all the way bottom there. So yeah, currently we're running nicely, right? So I think you kind of get an idea. If I decided to, okay, perhaps sleep, then I certainly know that I would have missed this trade setup, right? If I know that if I certainly sleep, I'm just gonna miss this setup. So I had to like sacrifice that sleep. I've talked about that already, right? And then I kind of personally took this trade setup as well, right? Even though I didn't intend to really share, because you know sometimes as a trader you don't really want to over leverage your members' account. So as I dropped about 4 or 5 trades, I'm like, okay, let's just hold on this. But this one I was just like, you know, putting a little bit of lot size on it in my own account, and currently, as you can see, it's also floating very nicely. Now the pattern here is one of the very common one in the community, and then anytime you see that kind of trade patterns, we really know that, well, this is a setup that is likely supposed to go in our direction. And this trade, which is USD card, is also currently running close to about 50 pips, so we also running nicely on USD card positions as well, right? So let's just see if we still have USD card running. So as you can see with that entry, very nice drop on USD card position as well. All in all, I think you have the whole idea overview of how I managed to come about with my trade setup. Sometimes I happen to sacrifice my sleep. That's just what makes the game work for me. Sometimes too, the trades just come out casually, like I'm going to sleep, wake up, have that landing session set up, and then, you know, all the confirmation really meeting up with me at the right time. Then I don't really have to sacrifice sleep. I started really chasing this trade all the way from Monday, right? So when the market opened, I'm like, wow, we've had overly extended moves in the market all the way from last week. And when the market opened on Monday, it kind of continued in the same direction, and I'm like, well, we might as well, you know, reverse or start reverse or show signs or signals of reversal towards Tuesday or Wednesday. And then I couldn't take chances, because it could happen very early Tuesday morning, or perhaps midday Tuesday, or perhaps even Wednesday. But all in all, because I am not the one that controls the market, neither does my father do, I have to sit by the screen, monitor it, and then be able to catch the trade just when the time is right, which is exactly what we did, right? So I think this one kind of gives you the insight of my day in the life, and then how I managed to catch certain trades like this that you enjoy if you're in the community members already. Hopefully you guys learned a lot from it. So this is just where I'm going to end the video. If you love this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. We're currently at 67k subscribers. Let's just approach 70k. Then from there we target 80k, 100k. We're hitting 100k this year, and that's for sure. If you don't follow me on social media as well, follow me at KOJOFOREX, KOJOFOREX, especially on Instagram and Twitter. I've been very active on Twitter quite recently, and for Instagram, I create and then organize Instagram live sessions all the time, teaching traders how to trade the market just like I do. Click in the link in the description to join the KOJOFOREX Telegram community, and don't forget to smash and destroy the like button, and comment your thought process and opinions and questions in the comment section, and I'll be certainly sure to address it. Without wasting my time, hope you enjoy this content. I'll see you guys in the next one, and it's peace out.